Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Meno Lounge. I'm Julie Gordon White, CEO of Meno Well, Menopause Energy and Protein Bars. I don't have the chocolate and the peanut butter because I actually already ate them today and it's 11 o'clock Pacific. It's that kind of day. I got my fiber here. I am so excited to bring our guest. I see you right here, Kim. I'm going to bring you up. Talking about age defying essentials today with one of my favorite new people. Did you get that? Here she comes.
There.
Kim,
Hey, Julie, how are you?
how are you? I'm so excited for today. I was just saying one of my favorite new people, Kim Dechert. Did I say that right? I want to.
It's Dechert. That's okay.
Dechert. I always say it. I wrote down like shirt. No, shirt Dechert. No, I
No,
know.
no,
I'm
that's
going
what
to check.
you're not the first one and only one ever to say
Okay,
this.
good. I'm going to be the last one though. Dechert. Um,
Yes.
and so I'm so excited because we met through, it's kind of cute. You sent me this email like, can you tell me about these ingredients? And I'm like, oh, this is my kind of person. And then we had this wonderful chat, so inspired by you. We just knew we had more things to do together. So
Absolutely. Yep.
so thrilled today. We're talking about age defying essentials with protein and strength and one of our favorites, fiber, right? All of those. And I can't wait to get into it, but I want to talk about your journey first,
Sure.
Kim. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Um, your journey into fitness and why you're still in fitness and all about fitness. So I'm going to pass the mic
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you. And thanks for having me, Julie. I've been looking forward to this too since we set this up. So yeah, I'm very excited. So I started my fitness journey about over 30 years ago when I went to a step aerobics class back in the day, and the instructor didn't show up for the second class. It was at a YMCA in Illinois, and they asked me, "Hey Kim, will you be our next step instructor? We'll train you." I'm like,
Like
"Okay."
me?
So I fell into fitness that way. Loved it. Loved teaching group fitness. I've been teaching it in so many formats over the years. And when I turned 60, I had an epiphany that there was a better way to age.
Mm,
And because I was teaching silver sneakers classes, I was teaching at a retirement home. And so I saw the elderly in these different stages of frailty.
mm,
And that's what struck me the most. And so that's when I thought, okay, I have the exercise piece. I need to focus, see what this nutrition piece is about as well. So that's when I took a deep dive into nutrition and actually changed my own health because my menopause in my 50s was migraines, brain fog, low energy, even though I was a fitness instructor. And I'm like, I don't like this. And I think I shared this story with you, Julie. One class I went to go to was a yoga class, and I forgot my mat, and I was the yoga instructor. So I'm like, how does that happen?
menopause. Yes.
Right. So
Oh,
that was a wake
been
up
there.
call too. And so anyway, when I started my own nutrition journey, realizing I was eating more of the standard American diet, the SAD diet, than a whole foods diet.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a wake up call for me. So I thought, well, and I got rid. So what I did, I eliminated. I did this 90-day plan where I eliminated gluten, dairy, sugar, alcohol, and fruit. Believe it or not, because there's fructose in fruit, which is can spike blood sugar, and so that was the hardest thing for me to give up was the fruit. But I got to tell you, by day 45, my migraines were completely gone. I was
Mm,
having 3 to 5 a month.
mm,
And that was like the biggest wake up call to me that, oh my gosh, I could heal myself with food,
yeah.
with the right food.
With the right
And so
food, right.
that's the
Key.
thing. And food is medicine, but it's the
Food
right food
is
that's medicine.
absolutely.
So anyway, after that, no, I was 61 when that happened. I started at age 60, finished at 61, that group. And I'm like, holy moly. I started teaching Zumba like a crazy lady again. I was jumping around. I had all this energy. And I was just like sold that, okay, the fitness piece, we need that fitness piece. We need the nutrition piece. And for women in menopause, in that peri-menopause, menopause, post-menopause journey where we are, we need to use food and exercise to our benefits and
Right.
choosing the right ones. And that's when I reached out to you and I saw how I discovered your menopause. I heard about these menopause bars somehow, and I'm like, I got to investigate this because
What
I
is
am
this thing?
oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So because I'm such a food ingredient snob, that's the other thing I want people to become
Right.
is the food
Right.
ingredients.
We have
Yeah.
to know how to read labels and understand them
Yes.
and take the time to read labels. That's
Yeah.
information that helps us make better decisions. So keep
Absolutely.
going.
And
I'm
so
with you.
that's when I read your label on your, the only thing I thought I wanted to find out about the natural flavors because that
Right.
can be anything.
Right.
And
Right.
so what I found that, and after talking with you, I understand like they're all clean, whatever you're putting in there. And here's how I can tell if there's a product that's got all this great stuff in it,
Mhm.
and then they have natural flavors, I'm going to trust that it's all good because if products have other red flags, like they have artificial sweeteners or they have fillers, they have an inferior B12, I'm like, that's a red flag to me, or seed oils.
Yeah.
Um, then I'm like, okay, this is,
That tells
like,
you
tells me a
really
lot more.
the whole picture, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's why and your bars taste amazing. It's like, yeah.
We
Oh my
worked hard
gosh.
on that because that's the thing about a healthy, a natural food choice. If it doesn't taste good, like that doesn't work. That's
I
not
know.
okay.
I
So
agree.
we worked really hard on that. So
Yeah.
thank you, Kim.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because it's like women in menopause get so overlooked. And most women, I mean, we live long enough, we all do it. We all
We,
go through it.
we hope, right? That's
Right.
the goal. So
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. So, why not make it so that we can do it with e- ease and enjoy it,
Yeah.
because we've already raised our kids, we've raised our families. Like this is a time for
Right.
us, to
Right.
focus on ourselves. And we've been used to putting ourselves on the back burner for so long.
So
So, you
I
know,
love that. Well, I'm see, this is why we were so aligned. Like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so Kim, as you are coaching women, I know you coach one-on-one in a
mhm,
group format.
sure.
You love your Instagram. So, what is the mindset that you see women? Let's
Mhm.
say, so I'm 59, and 60s, I meet women in their 60s who are still struggling, who haven't really jumped on the food, move your body train here.
Right.
What mindset are you seeing with women in their mid 60s and 70s around moving their body and strength and food? It's because mindset really dictates how we move through the world. What are you
Mhm.
seeing?
Exactly. Mindset is huge because I know people say, "Oh, I know what to do. Why don't you do it?"
Yeah.
Um, and so one of the biggest things, a lot of what I hear too is like, "Oh, I'm too old. It's too late. I can't do that." They've
Mhm.
got this limited mindset on what they can do, and it's like, let me tell you, there are women that have started in their 50s and 60s and 70s training, and I can name a few on here that like look amazing now in their 70s and 80s. Miss Ernestine Shepherd, I don't know if you
Yes.
know,
Of
she's
course. Yes.
yeah, she's like the
She's a
icon.
beast.
She's a beast. She didn't start until she's like 56. She didn't start to work out, and then
Crazy. Yeah.
and then she's been in contests and bodybuilding contests. And I'm like, I want to be her when I'm
Right. Me
86,
too. Me too.
So and you probably heard of Joan McDonald. I mean, she
Yeah.
started at age 70 and she's like 75 now and she looks amazing.
Yeah.
And she told her daughter, she goes, I'm tired of I don't like feeling this. I don't like my body. I don't like how I feel. And she did something about it.
Yeah.
So it's putting these self-limiting beliefs that you can't do it. And yes, things happen to us like joint pain. I mean, there's things that, sleeplessness. I mean, it's all dealt with all that.
Right.
But,
It doesn't
you
mean
know,
these things go away, but we can lessen them with the
lesson.
things that we're going to talk about today. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the biggest driver is our gut health. And I want to talk about that because, yeah, gut is because the gut drives it's ground zero for our hormone health, and what the state of our gut. I always say, if you have a happy gut, you're going to have a happy hormones, have a happy life. Not just happy wife, happy
Forget
life.
that happy wife. Well, yeah, we've been
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
done that,
Happy
right? We're
gut.
still doing it.
That's what we want. We want the happy gut.
Yeah, I
So
love
the
it.
happy gut just does so much more for us, and which makes us happy wife. So, um, so gut ground zero is your gut health, and so the state of your gut. So what does that mean? So what is your gut health? Your gut starts at your pie hole and ends with the other hole, and everything in between, right? And so our gut absorbs all the nutrients we eat, good and bad, And then that's how your body will react, if you will. So if you think of our hormones as little messengers that go out and tell our body what to do. So what are you feeding your gut to tell those hormones as messengers what to do? So it's so important to focus on, and I don't subscribe to a diet,
Yeah.
but a whole foods lifestyle,
Mm.
that and low glycemic foods that don't spike your blood sugar.
Hmm.
So that doesn't include like ultra processed foods that you see in the middle of the grocery store, the chips, the crackers, the breads, the pastries, all that kind of man-made food.
Yeah.
When I say that, some man-made food is good, like the Meno Well bars,
Well,
but
but
there's
let's just, this is what I say about that, and I'm glad you
okay,
brought that up.
good.
We advocate for whole foods first.
Yes,
Whole foods. I eat
yes,
whole foods, a lot of them,
yeah,
lots and lots of plants. I do eat meat too because we're going to talk about protein. That's an easier
yep,
way. And I eat dairy, but I still eat a bar because I need to make sure I'm going to get that fiber in. And I don't want to jump ahead because we're going to talk about fiber too.
yes,
But yeah, so we're all about whole foods. Eat those first.
yes. And
But
so,
most of us are running around or sitting at our desk too
yep.
long, and then we reach for something that doesn't support us. So
But
there you go.
know what? And it's in case it was like food emergencies or traveling. We just traveled last weekend, so I had the bars with
Yeah,
me. I had beef sticks, I had apples, I had carrot stick. I mean, I had whole foods, but I
right.
had the bars too, because they're healthy. You know,
Yeah, and they keep you
nuts.
full. Seriously,
Yes,
Kim, I had a woman email me. She said, "Can is there any bars in my?" She was in South Carolina. Do you have them in any stores in South Carolina? Like, no, we're only in stores in California right now. But Amazon. She was like, "I can't get it fast enough. I'm going on a trip tomorrow." I said, "Sis, I got you," and I FedExed her some bars because she was like,
oh,
so it's
right.
that kind of thing. She was
Yep,
going on that trip, and you want to be armed. So, all right,
absolutely.
so keep going. So, food is
Yes.
medicine. Our gut talks to the rest of our body, including our brain, right? So,
There's a
that brain fog, we can help with that
yep,
there. So,
yep. There's a gut brain axis. So whatever's good for your gut is good for your brain.
yes,
So you want to feed your gut, like I said, whole whole foods first. Supplementation is good. Obviously, we can supplement with things. Even with if you eat all veggies, fruits, and all that, with our soils have been so depleted, we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that we used to get out of from our grown produce. So that's something to consider as well. So I feel like whatever you can do to feed your gut first, the most healthy things possible. I'm not saying don't enjoy whatever. If there's a
right.
birthday and you want a piece of cake, have the cake. So, just don't have the
We
cake every day.
deserve the cake, just not, we don't need it every day. It's not our friend every day.
Exactly.
Occasionally, yes, but not
Yeah.
every day. Right.
So, and I always have my clients, I provide them like with a food list that's like low glycemic, nutritious, and then it's a huge list. It's a big list. So you don't have to feel deprived. And I think that's the biggest thing. But also going out to eat. I mean, there's different things you can do, strategies, because going out to eat, you don't know, like many restaurants use seed oils or whatever. Just there's things that you want to, fried foods. There's better choices you can make. And that's the thing, it's like they're choices. So and a lot of things that I help my clients with is make, what's the better choice here?
Right.
What's good, better, best?
Right.
And if you can't make the best choice, what's the better choice? And if you can't make the better choice, what's a good choice?
Yeah.
So it
I
gives you
love that.
leeway.
And
Yeah,
let the guilt go, right? Because we don't need to obsess
right,
over it either, because we did that. We did that in our 30s and 40s. And, we get to 50 plus. We don't need to obsess over these things because
right.
I think that creates a level of stress and anxiety all by itself.
It does. It does. And I want to, it's simple, and I want to keep it simple because I feel like we don't have to overcomplicate
Right.
it. And when we include, focusing on gut health with exercise and particularly strength training, that's what I really promote, because strength training is our other key to a long health span, to living strong without getting frail.
Right.
And whatever we're feeding our gut is going to feed our muscles. So that's why protein is one of the biggest things. I know you mentioned that, like protein has been undervalued, and our believe it or not, back in the World War II is when they set the protein RDA said the protein, it was for men, it was 55 grams.
For
And
men,
for women, it was
even.
for
Yeah.
men. And they said, what's the minimum protein our soldiers can get and still fight, still be
Like,
productive? And it
yeah.
was 55, which is really low,
Yeah.
especially for men. And
For
for
men,
women, yeah. And then they made it for 45 for women. These have not changed since World War II, which is crazy. So now we know better. And I know you know about this book, Forever Strong
oh
by
yeah,
Dr.
it's funny. I just reshared one of Dr. Gabrielle Lyon's posts this morning. Such a
I saw
fantastic
that.
book, and she's really a loud advocate for that protein. And
Yeah.
she's not a very big person either, but she's
She's tiny.
strong.
Yeah, I know. And but I love it. It's called Forever Strong, a new science-based strategy for aging
Yeah,
well. So we need to age well, and she works with geriatric patients. We need strength, we need protein to feed our muscles, and she gives so much science in this book about it. So I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, anybody
absolutely.
watching, to read it, because it is so good. Shout out to Dr. Lyon for her research and everything. But so protein, I know it's been, people kind of poo-poo it or think, oh, I can't get that enough protein. But for women, we should choose between 90 and 100 grams a day
Hmm.
minimum.
Hmm.
So 30 grams at each meal, 30 to 40 grams at each meal possible, but minimum 30
Yeah,
at each meal. So I start women off at like, but I do their macros and figure out the protein and fat carbs, but
right.
I really prioritize the protein because that's what
That's what we have
is,
to use those calories, those macros for, is protein
yeah,
first. I mean, if people just stop just in there, that's such a great start, right?
yeah. Protein is so powerful too because it's our structure,
Hmm.
it's our collagen, it's our hair, skin, and nails, it's our bones. It's like everything. Protein does so much for our bodies.
And it
So I
keeps us
cannot
full
keep
too,
the tight. It's the it promotes
satiating.
satiety. Yeah,
Yes.
satiating. Thank you.
Hmm.
So it's very satiating. So my a little tip. One of my tips I'm going to give today, but this one is important. Eat your protein first. Whatever meal you're
Yeah,
eating, eat your protein first. Make sure you get it in, and then you're not
I
quite
love it.
quite as you might not even finish your meal,
Right,
after that. But
right.
but it's so satiating and it's such a great way. You get that first. When we traveled in South America, I'll tell you the story very quickly. We
Yeah,
were there for 3 weeks last fall, and we were eating all the things, and they're very meat heavy
right,
in
right.
Argentina and Brazil.
They have
And
wonderful
so
beef in Argentina, right? They're known for their beef.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so I got to tell you, we ate all the things. I mean, because I love to try indigenous food. Just you want to eat what. So I thought, oh my gosh, I've gained so much weight when I got home because I prioritize protein every meal. I didn't gain a cent. I was like, what? It worked.
It worked! Yay! Proof,
so
proof.
so
Right.
so
We can
even
do
though
it
you're
at home.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I do that traveling. I do that when we go out to eat. Um, I do that daily, at home.
Yeah.
I eat my protein first, and that's a big tip that everybody can do.
Well, and
That's easy to do.
it's important, especially when our hormones are fluctuating. We tend to crave sugar, which is why I actually
Mm.
started the bars, because I was a sugar person. I didn't really, in carbs, I didn't really want a lot of
Right.
protein in the past. And so I needed to handle my sugar cravings. I've since, I've done the work to figure out the protein that I love and have to have every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that we got to just learn how to make that mental shift, have the protein first, and then
Yep.
we don't have to eat around our whole plate like we were probably taught. We can just
Yep.
go right into the protein and then move around the plate.
Yep. I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to, I save, if there's if you go to a restaurant and they've got like a special bread or something, I'll save that for last. I'll eat it
Oh,
last.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you still want it, it can be the dessert
They
almost.
can be the
Yeah.
dessert or just save it for later. You know how they bring in America, they bring your bread back. They bring the bread out first. And we're like, we say, no, thank you. Can we have it later? You know?
Right.
And so that works. But yeah, protein is such a powerhouse for us. And so we want to maximize our protein as best we can. And then the other thing I want to talk about is fiber. We talked fiber. And did you see Dr. Mary Claire Hayward just showed a study this morning about fiber,
Oh, this
how
morning,
it's,
did she? Of
yeah, she
course.
just shared a study about how dietary fiber improves cognition as we get older. And I was like, hallelujah.
I know.
I read parts of it, but it's talking about, so our minimum requirement, they say, is 25 grams for women,
Right.
about 37 grams for men. So we want to hit the 25 grams at least. And many are very low on that, like 10 or 15 grams is typically the standard American diet. So we
Right.
really want to shoot for 25. The study, excuse me, the study showed like 34 grams was a great sweet spot to get your get that helps with the cognitive abilities. So
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, that is so, okay, I'm upping my fiber for sure.
Fiber, more fiber. There's actually a tune on Instagram called More Fiber. I use it all the time because our bars have 25 to 32% of your daily fiber. The
I
chocolate
know.
brownie has the most.
Yep.
And, sometimes you just need that little extra hack to get it in. So that's why I start early, usually, with a bar to make sure I'm
Yeah.
front loading my fiber and protein
Right.
right out of the gate with yogurt and a
Yeah.
bar.
Wow.
So get it in early. But yeah, fiber. That's why Dr. Mary Claire loves our bars. Her favorite is peanut butter
Is
chocolate,
it?
by the way. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
that's
that's
her
so
fave.
funny.
She's
My
like,
favorite is the chocolate
she
brownie,
like,
but
I
I like
love that chocolate brownie, but peanut butter chocolate now, Julie. I'm like, you got it, you got it.
that's so funny.
You can get them on Amazon or at mymenowell.com.
Yeah.
Miss Britton just asked that. So here's the deal: fiber. We love fiber. So let's talk about how women can get more fiber in their body and
Mhm.
also manage it, because that's
Yep.
one thing women talk to me about. If they haven't been eating a lot of fiber, I tell women start with a half a bar because this is going to
Mhm.
change your life in a good way, but you be prepared,
Yep.
right? So talk to us more about fiber and how you help women
Yeah.
get more into their
Yeah,
rhythm.
so fibers and it's easy actually when you think about it. It's fibers in all the veggies and fruits, especially apples with the skin on. So I eat an apple
Yeah.
every day, so I'm getting and pears with the skin.
Skin.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's all and I always think of fruit as God's dessert, so that's kind of like always my dessert anyway. But you lentils, quinoa, beans, legumes are easy ways to get fiber. Leafy vegetables, veggies are the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like to,
Plants, anything that
plants.
grows.
Yep, yep. A huge salad. I try to get a salad, a big salad every day.
Yeah.
I do take one. I do take I know Mary Claire talked, Dr. Claire. I act like I know her. Mary Claire,
I
we were
do.
talking.
She wouldn't mind if you just said Mary Claire. Go ahead.
Okay,
I
good.
call her MCH, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. But she has her own fiber thing that she has through her pause nutrition. And I get one through Thorne supplements that I like. That's 7 grams of fiber. That is, I really like just mixing it with water. So it gives me, but I still try to get my 25 grams with dietary regular, yeah, plants. And so then, you can supplement it if you need, but I would really focus on the food first. Focus on,
Well, and
um,
also when you get your fiber and protein, because there's protein in plants, so let's not forget
yeah,
that. Um,
yeah,
the bonus is the micronutrients that are in plants that are not in other sources of
sure.
fiber. We need all of those different minerals, and that's something that often we're
Yeah,
missing when we're trying to hit diet macros,
right.
right? So sometimes we miss the fact that we need all those different colors in our salads. I'm a huge beet eater, broccoli,
Oh, yes.
um, bell pepper. I really look at what I'm eating during the day and say, are all the colors here? Or am I, because I can kind of go down the completely green route, right? Which is
Right,
good, but
right.
I need other things in there. So I need a purple, I need a red.
Absolutely. Well, we've heard eating the rainbow, and
Yeah,
this goes back to gut health. So ideally, you want to have a variety of 30 different plants a week in order to
which feels kind of
get,
overwhelming.
it feels
It's like,
overwhelming, but you want to diversify your gut. And the other thing I forgot to say this, as we get older, our gut diversity just naturally gets less diverse. So we got to work at it to keep it diverse. We want to keep there's good gut bugs and bad gut bugs in our guts. So we want
yeah,
to keep those good gut bugs happy. And so we want to feed them what that nutrition that they get from all the colors of the veg, all the phytonutrients, all the antioxidants that you talked about. So we do want to feed our gut. So I always say your gut is an army. like think of your gut bugs as an army. So if you're not feeding it well, your army's going to get
Yeah.
tired and not do the things you want it to do. But if you're feeding your army well, it's going to thrive. Your gut thrives, you thrive, you feel amazing, you sleep well. I mean, all the things go right. Less joint pain. Just you're able to walk upright and do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
So getting, gut health is that's why gut health, I feel like gut health goes together with strength
Yeah.
training, protein, with fiber, you know,
All the good things. And it's something we can influence. We can control what we eat.
absolutely.
And a lot of things in life are out of our control. But
Mhm.
that's something my mom taught me way back when. The things we can control are what we eat and moving our bodies, which we're going to talk about
Yes.
that in a second.
Your mom was ahead
She's,
of her time.
she, she's very practical, my mom. That's what I'll say. But my parents are in their 80s, 84 and 86. They work out every day, Kim.
I love
Every day. My
that.
dad does 100 push-ups every day.
That is amazing.
It's crazy
That,
because, one, he wants to live long, but he wants to be strong and live well and vital, not just old
yes.
and in a
Oh my
chair. Like,
gosh.
what's the point of that?
Your
So,
your
um,
parents are on top of
yeah.
it. That's
I have good
amazing.
role models. Okay,
Yeah.
here Florence asks us,
Yes.
she says, I love to eat pistachios as a snack. Yum. Do they convert to carbs? I like how it makes me go to the bathroom every day. Is this a fiber source? You've got all kinds of questions
No,
in there.
yeah, pistachios are a great source of healthy nut, healthy fats,
And
and so they're
fiber,
filling
right?
as
Okay.
well. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and fiber. So pistachios are one of the top nuts, and I actually keep. There's a great brand called Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can buy them in little packets,
Right.
and I keep them in my car, and great for traveling.
Yeah.
Those pistachios are excellent. So that was a great
That
question.
is an excellent question. And they're nuts are fats,
Nuts
right? So they're not
are fats.
carbs.
They're not.
They're
Yeah,
fats,
and they
but
have a
they
little
do
bit of
have fiber, a
protein.
little bit, and
Yep,
protein too.
a little
So
bit of
they're
protein.
just an all around good thing to have. I
Yep.
think the thing about nuts, and I love pumpkin seeds, so I eat a lot of
Mm.
pumpkin seeds. But don't go nuts. Pun not intended,
Yeah.
right? So just have your little measured amount because when we eat the whole bag, then it's not really our friend, right? So
Right.
because they
Well,
are very calorically dense.
and that's why it's nice to buy those little snack bags because you're full. I mean, it's perfect. They hit the spot
And then you're done.
and you're done.
You're like, okay, stopper.
Yeah.
It's what, you go to Costco, you get the big bag. I usually leave a scooper in in the bag. So
That's
that way I'm like, okay, one scoop.
that's,
I'm good. I'm
a great
good.
idea.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
really good. Good portion control. I mean, you know, because there are some things we can, if it's not measured out, we can overeat.
Totally.
So
Go
it's
high volume on the vegetables. Have
yes,
at it.
yeah,
And then the
yeah.
scoop on the nuts. That's what I do.
I feel like the vegetables are like free food
Yeah.
in a way. You
Same.
know what I mean? Because they're so low in calories, and now an avocado it's
Is
considered
a
a fruit
fruit.
actually.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I gotta say, avocados are. I just did a carousel on avocados, how they help women in menopause because
Mm.
they're
Oh
high
my
in
goodness.
fiber, high in healthy fats, and they're just a good and they're filling, and
Hmm.
so they're great for your brain health. Anyway, if you want to check it out, check that
Making
out.
me hungry, Kim.
I
But
know.
I use avocados sometimes like a salad dressing. So instead of
Mm.
olive oil, I'll just really have
Ooh.
that nice avocado and move everything around pretty soon, and that's like mushed all over the whole thing, and it's perfect. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a little thing I do for like lunch sometimes, I'll do a half an avocado, I'll mash it in a bowl with
oh,
sardines,
mm.
which I know some people
My
do that
husband loves
face.
them. I'm like, oh no, I can't do
If you
it.
don't like sardines, you can do like canned tuna or
Tuna.
canned chicken. Yeah, you could do the same thing. But I mash it together and then I add sauerkraut, which is another great fermented foods are
Probiotic.
wonderful for your gut.
Yes.
Yep. And so I mix sauerkraut, and then if I have little cherry tomatoes, I'll cut those in half. I have this big
Mm.
mash, big bowl of mash, and it doesn't look pretty, but it is so
I was
delicious.
gonna say it doesn't look good. How about okay? Are you a texture person? Because I would need some little cucumber, like the little
Mm,
Persian crunchy cucumber in there.
yes.
I need some
Ooh,
crunch to offset that all that mushy stuff.
you
Because
know
I
what?
like everything you said, but I need crunch
Yes.
too.
That's a great idea. You could also do hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are a great source of protein,
Yes.
actually. Yep, hemp hearts are a
Mhm.
great one. Because I know a lot of women like, how do I get enough protein in a day? Well, you can mix it up with plant and animal um, proteins.
Yeah.
I get a mix myself. I do a protein powder too some days. Um, I do a chia seed pudding, which gives me, the recipe I use, it gives me 44 grams of protein and 25 grams of fiber, believe it or not. So it's like,
Wow.
I
Okay.
know,
Go ahead. Give us the quick recipe on that.
it's
That's a lot
easy.
of protein in a chia seed pudding. I need to know
It
that.
is.
Go ahead.
And it's a great one, and you're full. So simple, 4 ingredients. So I do a cup and a half of unsweetened organic soy milk because you get 7 grams of protein in soy. So you get 10 grams there for a cup and a half. And then I throw in my protein powder. I use different ones. It can be between 16, 20, or 22 grams of protein. Then I add a scoop of almond butter, which gives me 6 more grams of
Mm,
protein. And then I blend it all together in the blender. Then I pour it in a big, like a mason jar, ball jar, quart jar,
yeah.
with a quarter cup of chia seeds. So
Hmm.
pour the mixture in the chia
That's a
seeds,
lot of
put the lid on.
chia seeds.
It's a lot of chia seeds, but you shake it up really well,
Yeah.
and it gets all mixed up. Put it in the fridge for at least 20 minutes, or I usually use it for the next day. And oh my gosh, it is so
It
good. Now,
sounds so good.
I've
Yes.
experimented because I'm not I love chocolate, but I found this chocolate protein powder I like that is really good with that chia seed pudding. I've done it with vanilla before, and sometimes I've added some cinnamon, or because I feel like it's a little bland with the vanilla, but the chocolate is so good. So
So good.
you can
Okay.
experiment with it, but
Tip
it is so,
recipe of the day. Look at that. And even if you had half of it, you're still getting a huge,
yeah,
fantastic start
yeah,
for the day.
yeah, for
Really
sure.
good. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, so good. Okay, let's talk about the trifecta here of age defying essentials of protein, fiber, and now let's talk about strength
Yes.
training because we know lifting heavy is important. Sorry, Sonia, what did you say? That's a bit, oh yeah, wow, that's amazing. Sonia Barnes here. But let's just say you're in your 60s
Mhm.
and you've only been using a 2 pound dumbbell. I shouldn't use that voice. That doesn't sound nice, right? 2 pound dumbbell. It's like a Dr. Von der Wright. No,
Right.
mamsy pamsy dumbbells, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny.
but let's just say you are, okay? And now you hear lift heavy, then that just sounds scary.
So
How do you help women go from a 2 pound to a 12 pound?
that's a great question. I always say lift heavy for you. Start where you are, and then likely the 2 pound weight is going to be heavy. The 5 pound weight, I'm sorry, the 2 pound weight will be too light. Even the 5 pound weight might be too light. So what can you do? Can you do 10 reps of an exercise, say bicep curls? And could you do more after that? Or are your muscles tired? Are they fatigued? So that'll tell you where to start. It'll tell you, like,
10
in,
reps are the indicator
yeah,
of like,
10, I'd say that's a good one, between 8 and 12, but
okay,
let's use 10. And so now your a chest press and a back exercise, you can tend to go heavier weights. You can probably do 10 pounds, 12 pounds, but see how, you got to start somewhere and start with the lighter weights. See if you can, if you do the 10, 12 reps and it's too easy, you need to up your weights. And
yes.
so that's a simple thing to go by because I feel like it's all different for each of us, right? We got to start
Mhm.
somewhere.
Right.
And let me tell you, even though I've been teaching all these years, I had two back-to-back shoulder surgeries in 20 and 21, where in 9 months, where I like totally lost all my upper body
Mm,
strength for sure, and my, tried to do squats and walking, but it's like you're still,
you still
you
don't
weren't,
feel
I
good.
wasn't where I was. But I got to tell you, after doing that, I really doubled down on, and I just work out at home. I don't go to the gym, don't have super fancy equipment. I just have dumbbells. And I've been able to improve my strength more than where I was before. And I'm 67 now. So I want to say that, it's possible. Don't give up on yourself.
Mm,
Don't let age slow you down. Don't let surgeries slow you down. I know stuff like that happens,
right.
but we can still pick ourselves up, and once we recover from surgery, get back on the road, get back on that horse, basically.
Right.
Because if we don't do anything, think where you're going to be in a month or 6 months, 5 years, 10 years. But if you start now, just then think where you're going to be in a month and six
That is
months
such an important part. If we don't do something, we are not just standing still.
Right.
Either we're going to progress, we're going to get stronger, or we're going to go the other way and over time become weaker. Let's
Exactly. And that's what I
take
see.
that in. That's a huge point that you just made. Because if we don't do something, we are going to decline, period. That sounds
It's,
terrifying to say, but that is some hashtag real talk there.
yeah. And I look at like older family members that, and I'm like, I don't want to age like that, that
Yeah.
are bent over and frail and um, having issues. And I'm like, you know what? You don't have, that doesn't, you don't have to live like that. We don't have to end up like that. And I feel like it's making these choices now. Whatever happens, time's going to happen. 90 days is going to come and go, whether
Right.
we do something or not.
Right.
And so whatever, I always say, well, if I do nothing, I'm still going to be in the same spot or
Correct.
worse, in a year from now. But if I'm proactive, and that's the key, is being proactive about your own health, being curious about your health. I feel like that's what I'm very curious about. Like, how do I age better?
Yeah. Yeah.
What can I do to age not like the norm? And I say the norm, like
Right.
into frailty. And Dr. Lyon talks a lot about that in her book as well, about, we're guaranteed to age into frailty if we don't exercise, if we don't lift weights.
Right.
So
Stay
that's why
strong.
yeah, and I preach it till I'm blue in the face, because I know not everybody wants to hear it, but if you want to age well, we have to. I mean, we cannot not strength train.
Well, and the
I just
the gift is we are living longer. So we have to, because before, when we didn't live as long, we didn't need to do all these things, right?
mm,
But we are. So
yeah,
I always say I want to live to 101, but I want to be like a sexy, vital granny, you know?
right. Hello.
If
Yeah,
I have that as a bar, even if I'm not exactly sexy at, 101, but I'm going to be like heading in that direction.
I'm sure you will be sexy at 101. I'm
Thank you.
betting on it.
But it
Um,
helps me hold the mindset of who I want to be. So on the
yes.
days when I don't feel like picking up the weights or getting on the bike or going for those steps, oh yeah, remember that? You don't want to be the sitting granny, you want to be the sexy vital
You
granny.
want to
So
be the fun
the
granny, the
fun
one that's
granny.
the one that's doing all the things.
Yes.
That's and able to not say, "Oh, I can't do that."
The
I
playing
just I don't want to be
granny, not the watching granny.
not the granny sitting on the sidelines
No,
watching.
no,
Exactly. I agree.
no,
I'm
no,
totally
no.
with you.
I'm
Totally
not
with
a
you, sister.
granny yet though, are you?
I am.
Oh,
I am. I have 3 grandchildren, hoping for more. So
oh,
it's a blast.
I love it.
Yes.
And so tell us, how does that feel then, being the energetic, strong granny? What do they call you?
They call me Gigi,
Gigi.
and
Okay. That's the modern
there's the
granny. Okay.
modern
So
granny.
the modern granny. So how does it feel? I've never asked anybody this. How does it feel to be strong, energetic Gigi with 3 grandkids?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we have our grandkids live 3 states away from us,
Hmm.
so we get them every summer for 2 weeks. We 2 10-year-olds, twins, and an 8-year-old this year, and we've been getting them for since the twins were 4.5. So I got to tell you, when we have them, people always say, "Oh, they're going to wear you out," and I said,
Like, no, they're not.
"We wear them out.
Yes.
We are
I
so active. We're doing all this fun stuff. We're doing just so tons of activities." And so by the end of the day, I mean, the kids are ready for bed, because we've worn them out. And so it's so funny, because
love
I
it.
say, no, no, they don't wear us out.
Yeah.
We wear them out.
That's the
And
best. That is the test, right? Who's more tired at the end of the day,
yeah,
you or the grandkids? That's how you know that you've done the work. That's
yeah,
excellent. Sonia
yeah.
Barnes says she has 3 too. Oh, and she's a Bella.
Oh, I
Can you tell?
love
I'm a
that.
granny in the making, which actually I'm not, but I'm already preparing. Like, oh, what do people call you? So Gigi, we have Gigi and Bella. All right,
That's cool.
look at. And
Yeah.
then Florence said her grandma passed away at 105. Must be in the
Wow.
genes. Wow, Florence, good. You want to be that strong 105. You got to keep going,
Yep.
sis, over there. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a lot to live up to, 105. That's
105. I know. Jeez,
That's amazing.
super
Yeah,
awesome.
so I feel like really focusing on where you want to be, how you want to end up. Because we have choices. We have the choices that we can age well, we can age better. We have, and this other one I want to show you. I know you know about this book,
Oh,
The New
yeah.
Menopause. So
Mine is right
good.
over there. So
Yep.
good. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
by Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And I promote that as well. It's like I promote all these good things because it's like we no gatekeeping. We want everybody to know about like how the science and what we can do because it's not that hard. It's
No.
just choosing to do it and making a change. So I feel like those are like the biggest, kind of some big takeaways.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but
good. I know we talked about all the things. Did we go through all your tips that you may have already had in the can there to share? Or
Let's see. I know I talked about strength training. Oh, progressive overload is really important. So start where you are with the weight training, with whatever weight is heavy for you. Progressive overload means once you've like done the 10 to 12 reps and it's easy again, up your weights.
so how long
So,
should that take? Because I get stuck on that
mm,
myself, like,
okay.
because here's the other trick. Some days I feel really strong. Other days I'm like, ugh, I'm tired today. Like that 10 pounds used to like feel like nothing. And now today I'm looking for the 8. What
Right.
happened here? So
Well, and that, could be a sleep issue. It could be something, whatever you feel off that day for whatever reason. But go listen to your
mm,
body because your body may be fighting off something too.
mm,
If you're feeling tired, lethargic that day, but I use a track, like I track my workouts and I do a program like 4 weeks. Usually do a program every 4 weeks where I'm tracking and I track my weights. So and I put a plus if I know I can go a little heavier next weight or next time, or I put a little underline saying this is good.
yeah, pause.
Yeah,
Stay
like
here
this,
for a
like
minute,
stay at this
sis.
weight, stay here in that
Yeah,
weight. So my goal is to see where week 1 where I was, and then definitely be using heavier weights by week 4. So,
beautiful. So
and then
at
when
least about
yeah,
4 weeks to
or
go to the
in,
next level, but know
you,
yourself.
yeah, know yourself, listen to your body. I feel like either working your body 3 full workouts, full body workouts 3 times a week, non-consecutive days, or do 2 upper bodies, do 2 lower bodies. Again, not the 2 uppers on, you want them on non-consecutive days, the upper
Mhm.
and lower bodies. So does that make sense?
It
I don't want to
does, and
describe
I'm
that.
glad you brought that up because I have done a lot of research, of course, and for myself and all of us. And I really believe in full body workouts 3 days a week
Yeah,
because let's be real, so we're not always that consistent. Like, okay, maybe I'm just outing myself. You're like, oh, I'm gonna super focused on my workouts for the week, and then here comes some huge thing I have to deal with. And like, oh, didn't that whole shipment, big order, didn't leave our manufacturer, or whatever. Like,
oh,
right? So that becomes a priority early in the morning versus my
right,
workout.
right,
But focusing on 3 full bodies, then that way when I did my great leg day on Monday, it doesn't get sabotaged by whatever. My upper
right.
body, my bis and tris doesn't get sabotaged on Tuesday from some external thing. So having 3 days a week of full body, you're touching everything three
Yep.
times a week. To me, that's been a really important
That,
switch.
that's a great, and I encourage that too, because I feel like get it all done, let your body rest the next day, then push again. You need that rest. You need the
Yeah.
rest in between the days. You just can't go whole hard each day. So yeah, that's a great,
Yeah.
I love your schedule.
Because even if
Um,
you only did it once, right? At least you're getting the whole body once a week
yep,
or something, because
yep,
things do happen
absolutely.
versus like, oh, I did my leg day. I love leg day, actually. I'm weird. Because I have strong legs, right? My
Good
arm,
for
like these, I'm like, wah, 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 wah. But legs, I love.
You're so funny.
But all these true confessions. Um, so that way you know you're getting it in. So even if it only happened 1 time a week, you've got the whole body. I think it's winning.
You've got it in. And that my third tip on that would be consistency, because you talked about consistency. That's one of the biggest things is being consistent. Like, and those 3 days a week is perfect because if you need to move one day, if you can't do Friday, you can move it to Saturday or whatever. You've got play. And
Yes.
so I love that. But being consistent is the key because it's fun. I think it's really fun when you're tracking and you see like, oh my gosh, I can go heavier on this.
Yeah.
It's so empowering. And that's what I love about strength training, is the empowerment you feel. You feel so strong. I'm able to carry heavy things. I'm carrying my heavy pots around. I'm able to put the heavy rollerboard up in
That's
the air
always my thing.
overhead.
That carry on when I'm
Yep.
traveling, I don't want anybody asking me, do I need help? I mean, they can ask me if they
They,
want to, but I'm going
like,
to give you
no,
the
I
like,
got this.
right? Really?
Yeah.
No,
No.
move.
So when we were in South America, I was loading that thing like I was its boss, you know, and I was like, hmm, you know,
You're like,
I was,
hmm, let me
yeah,
get
it's
that
like,
from, I'm proud of
yeah,
myself.
yeah. No, but it's so like, and the so we tend to lose grip strength as well. So that's
Huge
another.
indicator of longevity, grip strength.
Yes.
So,
And so
yeah.
being able to, open jars or open bottle caps and stuff, that was a huge eye-opening thing to me when when I taught silver sneakers and the participants wanted me to asked me to open their water bottles. And I'm like, oh, of
Mm-hmm.
course I did it. But I was like, oh man, so the strength training, holding on to dumbbells, doing reverse bicep curls really help with your grip strength. Funny story. So I thought, so I thought I want to get a pull-up bar. And so never done pull-ups before,
Yes.
since high school, but I thought, so I thought, what 67-year-old woman wants a pull-up bar?
You
So I had my,
and
I,
me, 59. Yes,
perfect.
go
Okay.
ahead.
So anyway, I had my husband he installed it and everything. And so I've just been kind of hanging and pulling myself up a little bit. It's hard. It's
Hmm.
really hard, but
It's
it's so
super.
good for your grip strength too. So I'm like, I'm not losing my grip strength. I'm going to keep my grip strength. And you know what? If I can't do a pull up for a year, that's okay, but I'm going to work toward it. So it's
Yeah.
having these goals,
And
you know? So
little progress, that's my screensaver on my phone right now. A little progress every day has big returns in the
I
future. That's it.
love that. I
That's
love
all we're
that.
looking for is a little progress. And you can actually use bands over your pull-up bar to step into to help you get a little bit higher up
I saw
to
that. Yeah.
create more. Yeah, but the hanging for grip strength, huge, 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 huge.
Yeah, and
So,
it just feels kind of good just to stretch out your arms and everything and your body. But it's like, well, okay, goals. It's having goals because how do we improve?
right.
And so anyway,
Feels
so
free to
yeah,
be badass. I'm just saying.
absolutely. I agree. I agree.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Kim, I think we have like 3 more hours of conversation in
I
us, but we probably should wrap for today. Will you come back again and we can talk some more?
oh
I
my
want
gosh,
to talk
absolutely.
about more about strength training. I want to talk about patience because it takes
Mm,
time. I
yep.
want to talk about that today because I'm not feeling very patient today. So,
No, I know. I agree. We all want it yesterday, right?
yes.
So,
So
but
we'll leave that as a little cliffhanger for the future.
sure.
But Kim, I know women. How do I work out with Kim Dechert? So where can they find you, get all your
Yeah.
goodness, etc.?
Well, thank you. You can find me on Instagram here. I'm Kim Dechert Wellness, and I have links in my bios for if you want to talk one-on-one, or I have different supplements, including the Meno Well bars, in there that I use. But yeah, I'd love to chat with you, or just reach out and DM me here on Instagram. I have a private free Facebook group called How to Age Smarter. That if
Mm,
you want to join that, I give weekly tips in there as well. So yeah, so I love talking about fitness and aging well for women because it's so important and we have to do it.
yeah,
There's no question about it. So I'm very passionate about that.
not optional.
Not optional. It's not
No.
not
Not
optional.
optional. Thank you for all you do, being an inspiration, being a role model. Women in their later 60s can just look at you. And if actually women like me in my later 50s, like I want to be like her. Like
Oh,
I got to keep going because of Kim. So keep doing your magic in the world. And I look forward to doing more magic together.
yay! Thank you. Thanks for having me, Julie. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Loved it.
Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, everybody, make sure you follow Kim right after you
Okay.
leave this slide. Okay, be well. See
Bye
everyone. Oh,
bye.
we're going to have a special new series. I forgot to say on
Oh,
Thursdays once a month, and we're going to have a workshop on weight loss, fat loss with our clinical nutritionist every single month, and that's this coming Thursday with Barb Sobel. So please come
oh,
back for fun on
neat.
that.
Will
Yeah.
that be the same time?
It's going to be at noon, actually, noon
Noon,
Pacific, noon
noon Pacific.
Pacific on
Okay.
this Thursday. Okay.
Oh, I'll watch for you. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. Awesome.
Stay
All right.
tuned. Be
Bye-bye.
well, everyone. Men are well. Bye bye.